So the next layer to 7.6 is moving on from having just a radical and a constant to having two radicals. So the process is the same. Step number one, I want you to isolate your radical. Now, saying that, all of a sudden we have two radicals. So isolating your radical in this question means making sure you don't have two radicals on one side. Because if you remember from the end of that last video, if I don't isolate my radical and I go to square at this point here, you're going to end up with this binomial expansion, right? And you're not going to get anywhere. So the first thing you're going to do is isolate your radicals away from each other. So I'm going to add the square root of x plus 2 to each side. That's going to leave me with the square root of 2x minus 5 equal to the square root of x plus 2. Now I can apply my power rule. And in fact, when I apply my power rule to these, it's even easier than the questions before, because all I do is remove my square root sign. I end up with 2x minus 5 is equal to x plus 2. Then you look, is this a linear equation or a quadratic? Since the highest exponent is 1, it's linear. So I'm going to solve this algebraically to isolate x. So I'm going to move the x first. I get x minus 5 is equal to 2. Then I'm going to add 5 to each side, and I get x equals 7. This is a proposed solution, so now I have to check. So square root of 2 times 7 minus 5 minus the square root of 7 plus 2, does that equal 0? Well, this is the square root of 14 minus 5 is the square root of 9, and then this is also the square root of 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. So we're good, and 7 is my solution. Now, one step up from there is that this question has two radicals, but it also has a coefficient. So you're going to treat this as having isolated your radical, okay, because I have a radical on each side of the equation. And now what you're going to do is apply your power rule. You're going to square each side. When you square 3 times root x, so 3 times root x squared means 3 root x times 3 root x. That's going to give me 9 times x. Because there's no plus or minus sign in here, this is a monomial. When I square it, you can apply the power rule. You've got 3 squared is 9, square root of x all squared is x. And then on the right-hand side, you just have 8x plus 16. So now I'm going to isolate x. I'm going to subtract x because this is a linear equation. I'm left with x equals 16. Then I'm going to check. I've got 3 times the square root of 16. Is that equal to 8 times 16 plus 16? This is 3 times 4 is 12. This is the square root of 144, right? 8 times 16 plus 16 is 144, which is also 12. So my solution is 16. All right, I'm going to pause or stop this video here. I want you to go try a few of those. So now you can do numbers 1 through 15 was the last video. Now you can do questions 17 through 25.